Hello my dear crystal lovers, welcome back to the channel. If you are new around here, my name is AM and I have a company called AVIUVI. At aviuvi.com you can find the most spectacular and ethically sourced crystals from all over the world, and I have an amazing one to show you today, a new one that is coming up today. So as you saw, we have been doing a lot of what we call nature practice. It's autumn here in Scandinavia and the leaves are starting to turn and you get the beautiful scents of autumn, of the leaves on the ground, and this very crispy air. Autumn and all seasons, but especially autumn, is a very sensory experience. What it reminds me of to go out into nature is the incredible abundance of nature. There really isn't anything like it. So no matter what goes on in the world outside, nature will always provide for you. And I think that's such a beautiful message, that it is just inherent in nature. So I promised you in one of the previous videos that I would start sharing a little bit more about what we do here in our household, in our family, in terms of everyday spirituality. I'm one of those people who don't really gel well with big elaborate ceremonies. I'm much more of an everyday practitioner. I like it when it's very effortless and easy, and it goes really well with my everyday life and the practical three-dimensional things that I do have to do in this current life situation. So anywhere where I can weave spirituality into the activities, that's what I want to do. So of course crystals is like the main part of my spiritual practice. I absolutely adore crystals, and I think it's such a wonderful tool to have in your practice. That's why I started AVIUVI, that's why I'm talking to you guys about crystals. The crystal that's coming up in the shop today is yet another calcite, and if you've been following me, you know that I love calcite because it comes in so many different varieties. It's amazing. It's absolutely beautiful, and I have quite a few calcites on the shop right now and they all look different. So now there's another one coming, and again it's completely different from anything you've ever seen. Calcite is so interesting because it expresses itself in so many different ways, and the symbolism of that is why I always encourage you guys to work with calcite in any type of creative situation. Now we are going into, me and my family, we're going into a way more analog autumn and winter than we've had the previous years, because we just want to embrace this idea of doing the more analog things. I think the timing is just right for it right now. There's a lot of outside circumstances that is pointing in that direction. But I do think that there's a lot of value to the more analog things. For example, creative pursuits, painting, drawing, playing music, those kinds of things. We do that every year, especially when we hit the winter solstice. Then we just want to, do creative things. I feel that it's very therapeutic, especially in those really dark months of the year here in Denmark. We don't get a lot of sun, so we want to do these nice indoor activities. We have this term in Denmark called Hygge, that's all about cozying up and enjoying each other's company and making these perfect scenarios, these perfect situations where everything is just in flow. So that is like our primary practice in the winter months. We have calcite everywhere. We have calcites here in the apartment, we have a calcite right back here, we have in the kitchen, we have in the plant house. We love to have calcite around. Calcite is a pretty soft mineral. It has a softness of 3 or 4, and that means you can't have calcite as jewelry, for example, but they are perfect sculptures. They're just very, very sculptural, very, very inspiring to have in your space, to have in your home. So that's why we have them all over the place. So this is the new calcite that is coming up today on the shop. And I'll show you some close-ups because the details on this one is like nothing else. If you've ever seen calcite from Iceland, it has this very interesting, these very interesting cubes, this very beautiful cubic structure. And that is how the crystal has formed over millions of years. Now this is not from Iceland, but it looks very much like the crystals, the calcites that you'll find in Iceland. This one is from central Germany, and I'll give you all the specific location on the web shop, so you can go and check that out. But this one is from an old collection, so it's a pre-loved crystal. I have a pre-loved section on the web shop because I really want to promote anything pre-loved, but especially pre-loved crystals. These types of crystals are the ones that go from one collector to the next, and it is a crystal that you would buy if you want to level up in your crystal collection, if you want something that's really unique and special. And I think it is so absolutely stunning. It's like, I don't know how to even explain it, but it's like this landscape of rhombic cubes in all different directions. And personally, I haven't seen anything like this one before. Why I want to have pre-loved crystals and promote pre-loved crystals here on the channel, and why I want to sell it on the shop, is because pre-loved crystals like this one, it goes from one collector to the next, and that means that it has a long longevity. It has been around for quite a while. A lot of these types of crystals are crystals that were mined many years ago in mines that are closed by now, so you wouldn't be able to get your hands on it. So you can get these really rare crystals. But another factor that is the reason why I sell pre-loved crystals is, of course, sustainability and the ethics of mining crystals. Crystal mining is a bit of an issue, and I don't know why other crystal sellers, they don't talk about this, because I think it's very important to talk about these subjects. I don't sell cut and polished crystals because it takes a toll on nature whenever you have to polish down a crystal. I love pre-loved crystals because it has a longevity to it, and it's not newly mined. Now, I do sell newly mined crystals, but when I do that, I know who found the crystal, I know where it was found, I know that the working conditions were up to standard, the same standard that it would be for me. So those are the kind of things that you want to consider whenever you want to buy a crystal. And I, of course, want to provide that for you guys. But this one, this specimen, it is definitely a museum quality piece. Yeah, so totally go and check this one out. So if you go to an ordinary crystal shop where you can buy, let's say, amethyst and rose quartz and those really generic types of crystals, not that it's not beautiful crystals, but they're very easy to get your hands on, and they're pretty inexpensive too. When you go to those kinds of shops, you absolutely would not find a crystal like this one. The crystals that I sell are the best quality it is if you want to level up in your crystal collection, or if you are maybe not that into cut and polished crystals or generic crystals, but you want like a really special and unique sculpture. And this one is from central Germany, and I put a lot of value into that because I do live here in Northern Europe, but also because a lot of these ordinary crystals that you see going around, they are from maybe areas that you don't want to buy from. A lot of crystals go through China too, so that means that that's where they're handled, that's where they're polished up, and then they get sent out into Europe or the States or Australia and to all of these Western countries. And I don't like that. I'm not into that. Yeah, it's not my thing. So I really love it when I can find something that's a little bit more locally sourced, just like this one from Germany. Also, it hasn't been treated. It's the raw beauty of nature. For me, and on a more spiritual level, that is just a huge difference. There's just a huge difference between a cut and polished crystal and a raw crystal. That is exactly how nature made it. That's just my personal interpretation, how I experience crystals. It might be completely different for you. I know that cut and polished crystals are really, really popular, but I would encourage you to try something different because the experience is different, in my opinion. Before I forget, I want to say that this weekend, this Sunday, I have another event in Hornbæk, and I am looking so much forward to it. Hornbæk is a beautiful place here in Denmark. It's way up in the northern part of Zealand, and the nature is spectacular up there. If you haven't been, I highly encourage you to come and visit it. And I'll leave a link for the venue in the description below. Beautiful place to visit. It's one of my favorite places to go and sell crystals. So if you're in the area, if you're in Copenhagen or in Denmark, definitely come and visit. Again, I'll leave a link for it in the description below. This beautiful crystal will be there alongside with a lot of other crystals that I have available right now. If you're not in the country or not nearby, go and check out the website because you'll be able to find this beautiful natural wonder in there. Today I am going to be baking a little bit. We still have some sage in the plant house, so I'm going to do some sage bread, and yeah, I'm just going to chill and meditate and yeah, get this beautiful crystal up on the shop. You know, this time of year is always super busy for me and super busy for Andreas too. So we do make an extra effort to meditate a little bit more these days than we usually do, just to make sure that we keep our balance. But that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and would like more of this type of content, please make sure to like, share and subscribe. It helps me to know what you guys want me to talk about, but it also helps others to find this content if that is what they're looking for. And I want to wish you the most amazing day with so much love to you and to yours.